I know it's been a long time coming. Listen, I'm free to just show you guys just how simple it is to make deep. I really don't. You can see this is just this, you know, and then I'm gonna use my seasonings. I'm gonna give you guys some options. But if you come on in here and take a look, these are baby backs, right? This is the more meatier rib on, you know, on the pork side, you know, to give you that, right? And if you notice, I cut them here. Look, I went ahead and cut them. Why? So they'll fit inside my pan. Reason I did that, you know, it's really for video purposes only, right? And another thing, look, these are gonna be a little bit thinner on the meat side, so these will be ready quicker than especially these right here with all of that good meat. Okay, so look, now we're gonna go ahead and just season up, right? I don't cut my ribs before that, I start with my seasoning. If you guys take a look right here, look, this is my level of seasoning. Look, we got the A and then we got the B. The A right here, this is for your pork, fishes, chicken, and stuff like that, so I call this our lighter meats, right? And then, you know, you gotta have the B series for your dark meats. That'll be like your briskets, your beef, and all of that kind of stuff, right? And then if you notice this right here, look, you put them both together, you got A, B in your house, just like that, right? Or I got something else for you. Look, this just came out. This is my all-purpose rub right here, right? This right here, I put just about on everything. Listen, you guys will see, these are not no one and dones. We're gonna get down. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it right here. I want you guys to look. This is what we're gonna use for a binder. Now, but the first thing we finna do is we're getting ready to remove this membrane that's on the back, right? So let me just go ahead, bring this closer to myself. You guys can use anything, you know, any instrument you would like to get underneath it. For me, I'm gonna go ahead and just start with the, you know, butter knife, right? So I'll just take it, and you know, we wanna work with it just in between. Look, I'm in between the ribs. You know what I mean? Everybody got their method on how they wanna do it or whatever, but this is just my way where I start like this right here, and I just bring it around. Try to stay underneath the membrane, right? And then you can like just flare it out this way. Now, I'll set that there. You want to get yourself a napkin. You know what I mean? Because you're going to want to get yourself a grip. So that's why I have that there on the side, right? So now I just take this and I just work with it. Run my finger underneath the membrane. You know what I mean? Anytime you filming, it's going to always give you a little bit of resistance. Now, I done had some success before, you know what I mean? But look like now the gremlins come out and just want to make me look crazy. So look, now I got this here, just the membrane, right? So just go ahead, take your napkin. Let me pull it this way because it'll be easier, more control for myself to pull from left to right. So now we just pull it up like this and you'll see it start to come up. Now, a little bit of a tip is, sometimes I'll pull it all the way and then it'll tear, you know what I mean? But there's nothing wrong with you going back down to get you another bite on it, you know what I mean? And just pull it like that. You know what I mean? I could get another bite, which I think I am, because I don't want to go back and grab no more. Like this. And guess what, folks? It made it look like I know what I'm doing. Okay, so look, now that I got the membrane off the other one, you know what I mean? This is like the small version. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, you know what? When I was talking to you guys about, you know, about using mustard, look, a binder is anything that you want to put on there. You know what I mean? I can make a slather. There's all kind of things you can make, right? But you just put that on the ribs and look, that's so that your seasoning or your rub, whatever you want to call it, will adhere to your, you know, your meat, right? This right here is extra virgin olive oil, but actually that's infused olive oil. You know what I mean? I keep the garlic inside of that. But today, I'm gonna go ahead and start with my, you know, my mustard. And no, mustard doesn't, you can't taste it. For all you people to say you don't do mustard or nothing like that, trust me when I tell you, you do not, you know, taste it. It is, again, just a binder. And again, I'm gonna be using my, you know, my level up series. Look, this is my A rub, right? So you wanna go ahead and grab that. Notice I keep a hand clean because you don't wanna put these back in your cabinet, you know, looking crazy. You know, with all that on there, look, causes all kind of ants, all that kind of stuff, right? So look, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and season the backside. We got our binder on, right? So now we just go ahead and just take it like this. You know what I mean? Ooh, look at that, y'all. That right there is what we call coverage. Now we done took that membrane off, right? So we know it's touching that bone and that meat. That's where we gonna get our flavor from. Ooh-wee. Now, don't forget, we wanna get a little bit of this too. This is the part that a lot of people forget. You know what I mean? When you season the ribs, we wanna get it everywhere, folks. And this right here is what we call coverage, right? So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Ooh-wee. You know what I mean? And I'll just leave them like this because we're gonna let them sit up a little bit and we're gonna let the flesh, you know, absorb that seasoning. But as you can see, look at that coverage. You know, aside so that they can, you know, soak up the, you know, the good rub, right? So I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, we got one in here like this. I'm gonna go ahead and just add a cup, you know, just a little bit more. You know what I mean? I would like to have that in flour. Right now, I don't know if you guys ever make fried chicken and all of that, but whenever I have that, you got to do, listen, you season your meat and you season your flour. This is why you have great tasting, you know, meat. So we're gonna do the same thing with the ribs. We know the ribs gonna be fire. You saw the coverage, you can see the way it was soaking in, right? So now I'm gonna go ahead, let me go ahead and get the A-rub because we wanna just make sure that everything is consistent. And you know what I mean? So I'm gonna add some of this to this. And the one thing I'm gonna do is, I don't care what I'm doing, who rub it is or whatever, I always add a little bit of that black pepper. After I season my flour, I want you guys to come in here and take a look at this. You know what I mean? You know, we started out with white flour, right? When you can see your seasoning in there, you can see the tint on this, that can tell you that that's really nice, right? I could feel like I can add a little bit more, you know, black pepper to it, which I will. But I'm gonna say this too. Once you got it the way it look good to you, I'm gonna tell you this, and everybody's thinking it's strange, you got to taste the flour. If it tastes good to your tongue, you got something fire right there. Okay, so look, you see this right here? We back in the game, right? I want you guys to take a look at that. You can see the color kind of like changes as it soaks in the meat, right? That's the sodium inside of the rub that like kind of like pulls it out, brings out a little bit of that moisture, makes everything nice, even more tackier, and then absorbs back in the flesh. Now, with all of that being said, I'm gonna turn these upside down like this, right? You guys wanna get yourself a sharp knife. Cause look, the reason I turn them up down is easier to see the rib, right? You can feel a rib. Let me just cut these in half right here like this. You know what I mean? So we'll just go ahead and just do that. You see that right there? We get that cut. What I'm doing is, here's a rib bone and there's a rib bone, and obviously in between you got flesh. So I'm gonna cut these down. You guys cut them down however you would like to. You know what I mean? I don't know why I said that, because there's only one way. You got to cut them down the middle, right? Make sure you get yourself a sharp knife. And then I'm using this tin right here, so when I get down to the pan, I kind of like just like ease up on it just to keep my blade sharp. But I sharpen my blade every time I use it, folks. So let me go ahead and finish these, and then I'm gonna show you this next part, which really, I'm gonna give you. Your brain should be sending some signals to your mouth just to say water, because you want to talk about anticipation. These are some good looking ribs, and we know that they season well. Look, we can do all of that. We can season them on the sides like this, because when I cut them, obviously there's not no seasoning in there, right? But don't forget, we did our flour that way. Now, what I wanted to say is, look, you can spray something on them if that's what you want to do, or if you would like to risk taking off some of the rub, you can go ahead and just add some more mustard to it. But I don't do that because I like mine to be a little bit. I don't like all the flour on there. I just want to go ahead and just get them deep fried and all of that. But they already nice and tacky, right? So let me just go ahead. I'll just bring these over here like this. Bring this here, because we're gonna stage there. So look at this piece right here. These are the big meaty pieces. You tell me you don't want one of them, right? So I'll just take that. Let me do it this way. I'm gonna go ahead and take this hand and just put them in here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just move these back and forth with this seasoned flour. And you notice I didn't have to spray nothing on them or nothing like that. Just want you guys to take a look at that. Ah, yeah. And then when I stage them, check this out. When I stage them in my basket, or if you stage them on a baking pan or something like that, maybe you got a cooling rack, that's what you do. You let that soak in too. So look, I'm gonna give it a couple of little these, a little shakes, get a little bit of this excess off like that. And I want you to look at, Now I can't do it like the chicken. You know what? You know how when I do chicken, I grab it and I put it right here because we want to make sure it adhere to it. Now we'll go ahead and do it. I gotta handle them a little bit more on the gentle side, right? But you see this right here? You tell me, folks. If that don't look good, I don't know what does. Now, I'm gonna just bring this over here and just lay that right there, right? And we'll let it soak. Now I'm gonna go ahead and let this, repeat this process until all of them are done, and then I'm gonna fill up this basket, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and dunk it. Now, my temperature I'm using 375 degrees. That get them just right. Now, they're supposed to be room temperature, which I should have said in the very beginning, right? So if they're a little bit on the cold side, it's gonna bring your oil down, right? So 375 gets you right. You know what I mean? When you put them in here, they're gonna come, it's gonna drop down a little bit, but it's not gonna probably go past 250. It depends on, 350, and it really depends on how cold these was. But remember, anytime you're putting any meat and you cooking it, you always want to at least let it be in there. I say 30 to 45 minutes. You got Okay, so look, it's been about 9 minutes. I set a timer for 5, then I wanted to check them, right? I use myself, get myself one of these meat thermometers. That's what I just used. Just drop them down, you know what I mean? So you guys can get the whole effect. Now I want you to go ahead and take a look at this right here. If that don't say something to you, I don't know what will. Look at that right there. Now you want to go ahead and just get yourself, a cooling rack and just go ahead and just put them down like that. Now, look at these right here. Oh man, now when I hit them with the probe end of the meat thermometer, you want to talk about nice and tender. As long as you see 165, you know what I mean? Actually, these are probably around 175 now. But I can just show you one thing right now. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it, but I'm gonna do it this way. Look, let's see if we can see tenderness. I'll just take this right here and just look at that right there. And that right there went to 180, 183. These right here are perfect, but I just want you guys to just see the tenderness. If you ain't never had deep fried ribs and they done right, and I know this season right here is fire. Why? Because it's mine. Now, I'll give you guys some options, when you guys look down in the description box below. And don't forget, everything that I use, including the And now let me just say this. You guys probably gonna ask, like, what would you serve this with? Hey, anything that you serve a pork chop with, this goes with that. And then if you wanna go to barbecue style, you can do them like this, and then you can go ahead and just, coat them with some barbecue sauce. You know what I mean? If you want to, you can like bake the barbecue sauce on there, put it in your broiler and put it in there for about 5 minutes. But for me, if I'm gonna put barbecue sauce on there, I'm gonna, put it on there, and then I'm just gonna eat it just the way, nice and soft and sweet, just like that. Hey, with that being said, listen, this right here is fire. If you guys have never ever had it, listen, if you're looking for a quick alternative, and especially because it's hot outside, you looking for something to do, something to put on the table real fast, I'm gonna say 25 minutes. Look, between marinate, getting it seasoned, set that to the side, cut it, bring your oil up to temp, put it in there. It doesn't take long. Get yourself a meat thermometer, right? Because we're looking for that 165, right? I always say 165, but this is pork. You know what I mean? You can drop down to about 145. It's gonna continue to cook anyway and rise just a little bit, but that's the key to getting them super, super tender. Hey, with that being said, let me just take this time to say, hey, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and tell everybody out there, listen, it's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. And wait.